The Cardinals moved to 2-0 in the CCIW with a 24-3 win against Augustana on Saturday. Next up is Millikan University. But before you head down to Decatur this weekend, there's only one place you can catch all the highlights from the win over the Vikings, right here on the Red Zone. Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone. I'm Mark Dahlquist. With me always is head coach John Thorne. Coach, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So if somebody opened the newspaper Sunday morning and looked at the score against Augustana, they would think it was not as close of a game as that game was really played.
Well, and if they looked at the stats, they would think the same thing too.
Right.
You know, several things kept happening throughout the game where we would look like we were all ready to have this great momentum go our way, and then it would slip back the other way, you know, and so it made it a really exciting game for the fans. I hope they enjoyed it, you know, going into the fourth quarter and having to keep playing hard, and I like those kind of games a lot, so I was really happy with the way our guys finished that one.
The Red Zone's cameras were all over the field on Saturday for the Cardinals' win against the Vikings. In case you were enjoying the warm weather elsewhere, we have all the action. Let's go to the highlight. Offensive coordinator Jeff Thorne and the Cardinal offense own the highest scoring average in the nation heading into their matchup against the 0-4 Augustana Vikings. Freshman Tyler Dicken gets the start at QB for the Cardinals. In the first quarter, Dicken in the shotgun looking left and finds Jeff Stolzenberg deep in Viking territory, who pulls in the 38-yard grab to the Augie 2. That would set up Jordan Tassio's pitch to Nick Kukoc, who takes it in for the 1-yard score, and Cardinals head into halftime up 7-0. In the third quarter, Dicken able to handle the low snap and has plenty of time to scan the defense and hits Nick Hicks on the sideline for the 23-yard gain. Cardinals back to work at midfield. This time Dicken hands it to Kukoc running left with the stiff arm going 18 yards to the Augustana 31. Next play, it's Tassio showing his moves and shedding defenders. Behind some nice blocking by his offensive lineman, he adds another 18 yards and a Cardinal first down to the Viking 13. The drive would stall, but Nick Dace comes on to attempt the 34-yard field goal. This one splits the uprights to give the Cardinals a 10-0 lead in this defensive battle. Cardinals move into Viking territory, and Tassio sells the fake right, and Dicken says, "I'm going left." The freshman QB showing his speed as he outruns the Augustana secondary on his way to a 42-yard touchdown run. And it's the Cardinal defense putting the nail in the coffin as Valente Garza comes off the edge. He'll hit Lee as he throws and Kane Thompson right there to make the pick. And he's off to the races with Theron Wright blocking in front. And Thompson caps off the scoring. The Cardinals go on to victory 24-3. So, Coach, we talked about it a little bit before the highlight, but you said penalties were a problem. For the second time this season, the Cardinals have had touchdowns called back because of penalties.
Yes, that's disappointing, you know, and there were twice on special teams, which, you know, is always a way to entertain the fans, and we like to do that with our special teams. So that one was probably a penalty that should have been called, though. I mean, we did hang on a little bit too long. But throughout the game, we would have something really good happen, and then it would keep changing the momentum, especially when our offense was on the field and so forth. So we're going to play a lot better. I think the offense is really close to a huge explosion of points. And the defense has really been on fire the last 2 games in a row in the conference, which is exactly what we want them to do. And, of course, the big interception at the end and the 70-yard return was a really, really great way to finish out a game.
Have you ever seen Kane Thompson put on the Jets like that one when he was going down the sideline?
Yeah, we're pretty happy for him. His new nickname is going to have to be TD Kane, I guess. He's got touchdowns in the last 2 games, one on special teams and one on defense. It's hard to do.
Talk about that special teams unit. They can change the game so quickly. Why is it important to have such an effective special teams unit out there?
Well, actually, this game, Augustana special teams was better than ours, but we were just inches away from making some other really, really huge plays. And we got flagged a few more times, 4 flags on our special teams, which is very disappointing. And I don't think that'll happen anymore, but it did that game. Joe had a wonderful 47-yard punt return, which was great, but then that was when they blocked our field goal. So we didn't even get points out of that play, and Josh Mitchell had a really good 37-yard kickoff return to start the game. Yep. We marched right down the field, and we missed the field goal. So the 2 best special teams plays, we didn't get points out of. But definitely Tyler Resch, he had a wonderful, wonderful game, over 42-yard average per punt, and really helped set up field position so the defense could defend a long field instead of a short field.
Right.
But their punter had a good day too, so our offense had a long field almost all the time.
Yeah, Rashi coming away with CCIW Player of the Week honors. Not a bad for a punter.
That's right. That's right. It was a good day.
Talking about another player on the team that had a pretty good day, but we weren't really sure about what he was going to do. Freshman Tyler Dicken gets the start. What was the week of practice like leading up to this game?
Well, he got a lot of reps, and he asks the right questions. He really came in and spent an awful lot of time studying the film, and he started off with the first 2 or 3 passes were really good. Then he had a little bit of a slowdown there, and then he finished the game very strong. I mean, the drive in the 4th quarter from the 5-yard line to get the 95-yard touchdown drive, he completed 2 huge 3rd down passes, and then, of course, he ran the last 42 yards himself by pulling the ball. So he had a good day.
It was a pretty impressive run there by the quarterback. Were you guys expecting him to do that out of the pocket?
Well, he looked a little faster than I thought he was, so that's good to see.
Usually you look faster when you got guys chasing you down.
That's right, yeah.
Well, the Red Zone caught up with some of the Cardinal players after the game to see what they thought of their freshman quarterback leading them to victory. That's the focus in this week's What's the Word?
I was a little nervous going in, but I've got a little playing time before this, so I've known that our defense is stout. It's a solid defense, and they're going to give us chances to make some plays.
He played pretty well. I mean, he went out and kind of took it by the reins and did his job. So I don't know if he needed too much help today. I mean, he did what he needed to do and made the right reads.
He did a great job in his first start. It's tough being a freshman and coming up here, especially at quarterback. And that end kept crashing down, and eventually I knew he was going to pull it, and he made a big play at the end of the game.
We had an opportunity right there to pull it and get a big play, and lucky enough I didn't get caught from behind. But our line saw that we sell it nice. We had a good downfield block, and I just ran as fast as I could.
Well, I think it's great to not only have him finish the game like that, but just to have him in a close game and win the first game that he is in a close game. I think it's going to give him a lot of confidence going forward, and it gives us a lot of confidence in him. So we're going to continue to build and keep getting a little bit more consistent.
Coach, what about Tyler's gameplay gives the Cardinals the best chance to win this season?
Well, the quarterback position is really important. You've got to be able to read the secondary. I'm sure if Tyler keeps hanging on to this spot, that every team from now on is going to have a game plan to try and confuse the freshmen. And lots of blitzes, lots of fake blitzes, lots of rolling coverage and so forth, trying to make him see one thing but actually do something different. So it'll be very interesting to see how he continues and how the rest of the offense continues throughout the rest of the year.
I've been to practice a couple times this week, and I noticed some quarterbacks after they get benched could just pout, but not Brad Crackle. He seems to be right there with Tyler, working with him, trying to make him a better quarterback.
Well, Brad's a fabulous, fabulous guy, and he's going to do some long snapping things. We've got a package for him this week, and we'll probably have a certain package for him throughout the rest of the season. I'll start trying to find more ways to use him on special teams and so forth. So he's just been fabulous at helping all the young quarterbacks from day one.
Right.
You know, and so he's doing a really good job for us.
How's the team's health after the game against Augustana? There were some guys on crutches on the sideline.
Yeah, we really got beat up. So we'll have to wait and see. We're still hoping to get some good reports on a few guys. Some of them probably won't be ready for the Milliken game, but we're really hoping everybody's back by the time we have to play Wesleyan. So right now it looks like we're going to get almost everybody back, but we still don't know for sure.
Is that strategy saving some of those guys for some of the tougher CCIW opponents?
Well, no, I think it's just the right thing to do for their bodies, you know, because we certainly don't want to overlook Milliken. Milliken's very, very hard to beat at their field. Mm-hmm. Now, Carthage just did it this last weekend, so congratulations to them. And they scored 40 points, which is a lot for a Carthage team this year. But until we actually get there and block and tackle and see it actually work, I'm going to be a little bit nervous about it because their grass field is so completely different than any field we ever play on, and I think it's homecoming. They're going to
always makes it special.
They're going to be ready to play football.
Well, we look forward to the game against the Big Blue, Coach.
Thanks.
Stick around because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by two of the Cardinal speedsters when we return on the Red Zone.